The big news out of the US, of course, was the withdrawal from the presidential campaign by current President Joseph Biden. That was big news. It's covered by the press all over the world, of course in the US as well. There was quite a bit of pressure for him to step down from even within the Democratic Party. Now we have his vice president as his preferred candidate. It's absolutely amazing when you think about it, the changes that have occurred in terms of the presidential campaign over the course of the last several weeks, in terms of the debate and then the commentaries on the debate. It's actually quite amazing when you think about it. A country like the United States that talks about having the most mature democratic system in the world, most sophisticated, is engaged in these type of debate without addressing the real problems that the country faces. How can you have 400 million guns when you have less than 400 million people? And then these are legally registered guns. When you think about it, it's absolutely amazing. You have gun problem, you have violence, you have drug addiction, you have issue of the increasing destitute of the very poor, 650,000 people homeless living on the streets, especially in the streets of San Francisco, one of the wealthiest cities in the US, where Silicon Valley is located. When you think about all the problems that it faces, the presidential election has become more or less a TV show, or more or less a Hollywood big cast show or movie. What is this country going to? Where is it headed? In the meantime, continue to inflame problems all over the world, in the South China Sea, in the Taiwan Strait, in Europe through Ukraine, and then Israel in the Middle East. We see the hands of the US everywhere in terms of causing problems. But in terms of internal issues, the intensity of the divergence of views within the country has gotten really extreme. It just seems that its democratic system is really not addressing the problems that they have domestically as well as internationally. We'll see what happens to the election, which will take place in just a few more months, whether or not there's any change in the way that they address problems just because of a change of president. We will see. I'm not too optimistic on whether or not a changing administration will actually improve the situation for the US. I think it's deeply ingrained in the system, in the military-industrial complex, in the interest groups, in the power of the very wealthy, the top 0.1%, the control over finance in the country. All of these things are deeply ingrained in the system and will not be solved by a change in administration, I'm afraid.